Hello everyone and welcome to another Power episode of Iron Panther Presents. If you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video once we get done. Please leave a comment. We will respond. And as always, we want to thank all our Power viewers. I know you have a lot of choices out there. There's a lot of channels doing Power videos, but you still can continue to come back to our channel, and we appreciate it. So we appreciate supporters like Nikki Live, Stacy Land, Rainy J, D Star, Chris Happer, Dante Davis, Worried Mama 1, Not Zay, and he said, she said. We thank you guys very much for support. And Sharice, I appreciate you for talking about Power with me when we go to work. And my wife, Terry. She loves talking about the show. She loves talking about this current episode, episode 14, the episode before we finally figure out who killed Ghost. And so, let's talk about it. What do we know now? We know Tate didn't kill Ghost, but all of us really knew that, right? And we didn't think that Ghost would be taken down by Tate. But this was a standalone episode. I think much like the Paz episode, this could have been its own movie. You know, maybe with another half hour kind of flushing out, you know, where Tate came from, like how he met Ghost to an extent, or just take Ghost out of it. It could have been the fall and rise of a political candidate was Tate, and I thought that was really awesome the way they did that. Okay, but if you're one of those people who are looking at the broader issue, the broader topic of Power as a series and how Power is going to end, what do we learn in this episode that helps us get to that final stage? I say pay attention to the conversation that happened after. So Tate goes to warn Ghost that something's about to happen. He's basically trying to warn him, but Ghost ain't trying to hear that shit. And Ghost, being on top and full of himself, is just shitting all over Tate as Tate is trying to, you know, concede and say, hey, I gotta warn you about something. After that, and Tate is completely done with Ghost, Dre comes in. And Dre tells Tate about Ray and Tariq, right? Then Tate, what does he do? He takes that information and he weaponizes it by telling Tasha that Ghost told him that he's gonna throw Tariq under the bus using Ray to advance his political career. That is extremely important to the end of the series and the end of Ghost, okay? Because as we saw in episode 10, which you'll see more in episode 15 when it's all over, in episode 10 we saw how Tasha talked to Ghost at the penthouse, and then she's the one that brought up, like, Tariq's in trouble. You know, he's in trouble with the law. What are we gonna do? And she mentions the idea of why are you trying to get him to turn himself in? And Ghost says, that's not my idea. What are you talking about? And he's like, but that's a decent idea. Dre gave information to Tate. Tate put that idea into Tasha's head, and then Tasha put that idea into Ghost's head, and that right there is the end of the beginning. Is the beginning of the end, for Ghost. That's him perpetuating that idea of Tariq turning himself in. Is why in the last episode you're gonna see Tasha and Tariq work together in some extent to kill Ghost. Okay, or one of them's gonna do it. All right. So and it all started with Dre and Tate, and so that one moment is probably the main thing that really leads to the end of the show. I'm not gonna tell you exactly how that ends, but we all knew that it was either going to be Tasha or Tariq after this episode. You know Sax ain't going to do it, and he's the only one other character left in the last episode. But, so I thought that was the most critical moment in this episode. Besides that, we learned Tate has a brother. He has a loving family that he comes from. It's awesome that they used his real brother to be a part of this episode. I like the idea of that that everyone who's like beating, you know, and kicking Tate in the ass at the beginning of this episode is kissing his ass by the end of this episode. You know what I'm saying? The way he was able to use all the tragedy of Ghost. Once again, he's using Ghost's tragedy to help him get to the next level. Because when we meet Tate earlier in the season, he's using Raina's death to get him last season. When we see Tate introduced to Tate last season, he's using Raina's death and Ghost's tragedy to get his message out there. And then now at the end, he's using Ghost's death to give new life to his political campaign, which turns out to work. But let's talk about this episode from beginning to end, shall we? Okay. let's say that without a doubt, Cedric Entertainer and his son was the best part of this episode for me. Cedric Entertainer was funny as a black cowboy killer, you know what I'm saying? And the way they were slicing up that dude, you know, I was like, this is vicious, you know what I'm saying? And if you watch the Power Confidential for this episode, the writer explained that since this was going to be the only time you saw Cedric and his son, they really wanted you to see just how vicious and capable they could be. Since, you know, obviously Cedric dies later on, you know, going up against Ghost and Tommy. And I thought they were great characters, okay? And then you see Tate hired them early to kill Ghost. Then when Blanca and Sack show up and give Tate up a legal option to get rid of Ghost, he tries to say, hey, I don't need you guys, you know, to kill Ghost. And then that don't work out. It's either him or Ghost. Cedric's gonna kill one of them, so he's like, go ahead and try to kill him. You know what I'm saying? The meetup at the warehouse with Tommy and Ghost, it really makes no sense to me that at least Cedric is a professional killer. His son is trying to come up, but neither one of them use their fully automatic machine guns to shoot automatically at Ghost and Tommy. They're doing single shots. Like, what the hell are you doing? You got machine guns with scopes on them, so you shouldn't be missing anybody, okay? But I'm like, there's no way in the world that Ghost and Tommy should have lived through that, okay? That was very poor shooting. That didn't make a lot of sense to me, you know what I'm saying? But then you see Tommy running in, as we saw in previous episodes. He kills Cedric. I actually think his son is the one got him killed. Because Cedric was trying to protect his son, who was running around not knowing what the hell to do with his own weapon. And then he left his dad. He had a car full of guns. Okay? So after trying to shoot at Tommy, as you saw in Tommy's episode, he should have ran back to the car, got one of those many other guns, and finished off Ghost at the least. At least he completed the mission. At least he can go back to Tate and get his money. Instead, he goes whining back to Tate and is trying to take out Tate and Tate's family, okay? It would have been much better, at least Cedric would have lived. I would have much preferred his son die, Cedric live. I think he would have had a much more comedic and more dangerous moment with Tate at his brother's house. I just thought how that scene should have ended, you know, for me. But some of the things in the episode didn't make a lot of sense to me, right? Like, so let's get this straight. So Tate hires 2 criminals to kill Ghost when he has 2 crooked cops on his payroll. Why didn't he hire the cops to kill Ghost? They could have killed Ghost and diverted the investigation and nobody would have got caught. I don't understand that, okay? So then Tate gets interviewed for, you know, the official statement for killing, for his brother killing Cedric's son. And the cops are sitting up there like fist bumping over the death of this guy. Like, how's that even possible? Like, how is that okay? Then Tate, who's no longer a cop, okay, then rides along to the shooting scene at Truth. Like, he's not a cop. Why is he there? Another thing, when his brother gets out the car to try to help out with the investigation, why does Tate get out with his gun? His probably unregistered, you know, gun. He puts it in his hoodie and he puts his hoodie on and walks out towards Truth. What was he trying to do? Was he thinking that Dre was in there and he was going to kill Dre before the cops got to him with all those cops there? Was he going to try to finish off Ghost with all those cops there? What the hell was he going to do in that situation? Like, that don't make any sense. Also, why did he try to give that gun to Dre? If Dre got caught in any way, which he did, he would have got caught with a gun that Tate gave him, along with the fake ID and money that Tate gave him, which somehow is never going to lead back to Tate. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense. Like you know, he made some bad decisions that easily could have came back and bit him in the ass in the end. But as he said, his brother said, you the luckiest MF alive. And I thought that should have been the title of the episode. Instead of Reversal of Fortune, it should have been, you the luckiest MF alive. You know what I'm saying? Because that is truly what Tate was. Like, he had a lot of opportunities that could have went bad for him, and they went very, very, very good for him in this episode. So, how is it that, so he's walking up to Truth. Ghost just got shot, okay? But then the reporter that catches, Tate off guard, he turns around, he looks at her, and she's like, what is your personal statement on the death of St. Patrick? What is the Democratic statement on the death of Mr. St. Patrick? Mr. St. Patrick just was probably pronounced dead maybe 2 minutes ago. How is anybody gonna have a statement? They act like this man's been dead for a day. Like, that's the kind of conversation you have at the church when Tate is having his his comeback speech at the pastor's church. It's good to see the pastor back. So that was kind of cool. But that's where you have that statement, not right at the scene. It should have been, what do you know about the death of St. Patrick? Are you hearing any news? Like, that's what should be happening. Also, Tate's speech about Ghost being like Ghost being like America, but couldn't overcome his personal issues. What personal issues? No one even knows who killed Ghost and why. But he's already speaking like it was Ghost's dark past that got him killed. No one knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to spin a story that hasn't even been given yet, which I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like why are you already going down that narrative? You know what I'm saying? And then also, why is anyone surprised that he got killed at Truth? Let's look at what's happened at Truth over the years, over the 6 months actually, because as Courtney pointed out, this whole show has happened in 6 months. Okay, so then you had a model overdose on drugs at the club. Holly got shot at the club, which got the club shut down. Let's not forget that. Tate's a political event got robbed at Truth. Okay, along with some other rich people got robbed. Tate killed someone that he knew at Truth. So why is it so amazing that Ghost would get killed at Truth? This is a location of murder and crime on a regular basis, which therefore baffles me how so many people wanted Ghost on their ticket in the first place. Like, I don't even understand that. You know what I'm saying? Ghost was nobody. Okay, he barely got Truth started. Because of some political dealings with Tate, he got 2 more clubs. But it's not like he was a big figure in the business world, certainly not the political world of New York City, and definitely not the state of New York. So I didn't need to understand this whole storyline that everybody's jumping on his bandwagon, except the fact that he's black. And that's another thing that really bothered me about this episode and this whole storyline about Ghost being a political figure. He was a black man. That is it. Like, even he said in episode 10, which I don't understand why they would let Ghost, they would let us think that Ghost would be okay with being a black pawn in this political game. He said the only reason, he told Walsh, the only reason you need me is because I'm a black man, and you need a black man to get the black vote. And she was like, yeah. And then in this episode, he's a replaceable black man, and he's okay with that. Like, why is Ghost okay with that? And why are they pushing that narrative in this show? Like, that shit's okay. That black people only vote for other people just by simply the color of their skin. That's all black people care about. And then he went to jail. So he's a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they mentioned that in this episode and in previous episodes, that he can speak to the minority group because he's been to jail. Because that's the experience of black people, I guess. That really upset me, that Ghost would be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't seem that type of person. You know what I'm saying? And then Tate was going to be okay with that, because then Tate was like, he was going to be the lieutenant governor until he, turned the situation around. But he's like, the only reason Tate is even popular is because he's black. That's it. I'm like, that really irritated me, Anyway, another thing, back to politics. It was interesting that Tate would compare himself to President Obama. And how Obama, got his nomination for president for the Democratic, the nomination for president in the Democratic Party, which I was like, why is he comparing himself to Obama? But then I thought about it. It was actually relevant because President Obama beat out Hillary Clinton, a white woman, for the Democratic nomination for president, and then Tate beat out a white woman for the Democratic nomination for governor. So I was like, all right, there's some Obama-esque things going on there, okay? But anyway, political things going down. Tate, stepping on, Ghost's dead body. I thought the most boss line that he gave in this entire thing was when he told Ramona that her political career was deader than James St. Patrick. That was the last good fuck you to her. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's talk about that scene, shall we? Okay, so Tate is in a very large, like, penthouse level hotel room that Cassandra, is her name, Cassandra paid for. What money does she have? As she pointed out, she got fired after getting her brains banged out by Tate. She was fired by Tate. What job does she have to afford a place like that? Yet she's the one that got this hotel room. How did Ramona know where he was? Because when she walked into that room, she expected to see him, did not expect to see Cassandra. How did she know where he was that fast? Put that aside. After Tate crapped on Ramona's political career by announcing at the church that she was sleeping with Ghost, which is a lie, why didn't Ramona, knowing where Tate was, why didn't she bring reporters with evidence that he did and now is in the room currently sleeping with a married woman? She has the ex-husband. Ramona has the ex-husband at her side. Why was she not on TV saying Rashad Tate should not be speaking to anyone about adultery when he was sleeping with one of his aides? Here's her current husband who can speak to that. Her ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband, wanted to take down his, Tate's political career episodes ago. That should have been her response. It should have been easy for her for Ramona to get her revenge and Ghost's revenge, I guess, to an extent. So that whole scene didn't make a lot of sense. There's a lot of ways that she easily could cut him off at the knees, and that would have been a much better ending to show that even though as he thought he was coming up and he was going to make it, he didn't. His past, caught up with him. I thought that would have been a much better scene. Do you hear Rotimi's song playing while Cassandra and Tate were having sex? I like they gave Rotimi a shout out with his music career. It was a lot of political moving going on in this episode, and I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, what did you think about the episode? What was your favorite part of the episode? What are you looking for to happen in the series finale? Do you know how it ends? Did you see the finale already? I did, but I would not speak about it until it officially comes out in 2 weeks. Since the Super Bowl is next week, and I really don't care too much about that, we'll do a couple of Power videos, kind of seeing what I thought about Power, what was my favorite moments, favorite episodes, top villains, that kind of stuff. My wife, she wants me to do a video on all the people that Tommy killed. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that and maybe just deaths, like the deaths in the show, like Keisha's death. What did it mean to the show? Some people died, it advanced the show. Other people died and it really didn't do shit for the show. Like it was just for shock value. So I kind of want to get into that a little bit. But anyway, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, please comment. We can continue this conversation down in the comment section. Did I miss anything? If you put anything in the comments that I missed significantly, I'll do a follow-up video and cover that. And again, I appreciate your time and your support, and I will see you again.